Hello everybody, the Nameless Narcissist here once again. Simple man diagnosed with NPD, giving the facts of narcissistic personality disorder and things that go on in my head. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, but keep in mind, I am no clinician. I can only speak to my own experiences. So, as you guys know, I'm going through a breakup right now. Well, I don't know, in the future, you guys probably wouldn't know that. Whatever. I actually think about that sometimes. I'm like, I always say, like, as you guys know, and I'm like, wait, not everybody watches every single one of my videos. Anyways, but it's made me very nostalgic, and I'm somebody that's very prone to nostalgia. There's just been a lot going on, and I'm kind of realizing I'm reaching a point in my life where I'm going to be forced to change. I don't know why, but narcissists are like very resistant to change. It might be just because of like the trauma shit where you just want to be in control. That's probably what it is, control. There's a uncertain and uncontrolled situation when there's change. I hate being in relationships though. They're work, a lot of work. And as I always say, I can go to a bar and get my self-esteem juice if I want. I don't really see the appeal of being in a relationship for self-esteem regulation. So it's when I really like somebody. But it's got me thinking about all my exes and stuff, and just how unfulfilling most of these relationships have been. My first ex was this girl who was dating somebody and she rejected me. But she like said that she liked me at first, and like, keep in mind I was young. I was like 15, and she was like, "Oh, I have a crush on you," but she was in a relationship with a guy who was ostensibly an abuser, as much of an abuser as you can be at that age. And like, that was the first girl ever who said that she had a crush on me, who actually liked me. And I was ecstatic because my self-esteem was super fucking low. I mean, still is. And that was like I think that's the only time a relationship was for self-esteem regulation. But yeah, and eventually she ended up rejecting me and choosing the abusive dude. And I fixated on that for a year. For like straight up a year, I was obsessed with getting her back, with proving to myself that I could have her back. Then I eventually ended up changing myself completely. I cut my hair, started wearing leather jackets, I started having a good time. And almost immediately after I changed myself completely, I got her back. Then I kind of realized it was only to. I didn't really piece it together at the time, more or less, but I kind of realized that she wasn't what I thought she was. Later on, I realized it was just my ego. I literally just did that to prove to myself that I could. And I took her virginity and broke up with her right before prom. That's for rejecting me, bitch. I'm just joking. After that, started a fucking 3-year like thing with my with this girl who, to this day, we still have a weird relationship, but I'm done being romantic with her. For 3 years, we were on and off, basically, always trying it, never working out. A lot of shit went into that. We were like, I swear to God, probably nobody could tell if we were in love or we hated each other. And in fairness, I don't think I can tell. She has some cluster B traits, is what I'll say. I know that she knows that I have this channel, so I always kind of get afraid of talking about her because once I try to bring up she might have borderline personality disorder, she got really mad at me. Like, but I think it's appropriate to say that she has cluster B traits. Whatever, who cares? That's one of the reasons I don't try to armchair diagnose anymore. But yeah, that was just hellish, and like we'd always talk shit about each other when we weren't together, and then we would get back together and be really confused why everybody was like confused by it. We did all these fucking power plays to each other. We tried to make each other jealous. We'd communicate with each other through tweets on Twitter when we were estranged from each other. I don't know why at that point we wouldn't just reach out to each other, but whatever. We had to put different names on our phones because everybody else hated when we were together because of what a shit show it was. I think I called her Sam and she called me Luke, which was funny. It was a mess, but one of the most fun relationships I ever had, and that's for sure. I think of all my exes, she'd be the one I would be most likely to go back to this day. She wants me to go get a matching tattoo with her now. I feel like that's probably a bad idea. What do you guys think? Oh, who was serious after? I mean, I guess there was Amy, but she wasn't even. I didn't even end up dating her. It was just a whole situation, and I don't really care about her at all. She wasn't important to my story. That fucking Freudian slip right there. Not a Freudian slip, but like, yeah, that was indicative of my priorities in relationships, right? And then after that was Monica, who's the girl. She's a girl who basically, She suspected she was cluster B. One of the best relationships I ever had, honestly. She was fun and also brought out some of my more criminal side. The first time we met each other and hung out, we got into a fight, and she actually took me to the ground, which was pretty impressive. Like, what happened was, she took somebody's necklace, and I was like, to fuck with them, and I was like, okay, give it back. And like I try to take it from her hand, and she like kicks the back of my leg to make me fall down. Then I swipe her legs and get the necklace. I was like, yes, awesome, I'm beating women. No, not actually. I mean, and let me clarify, it wasn't like anything actually aggressive. We were just, we both knew that we were just fucking around with that. But I won. Go me. Yeah, and then that ended because I went to because like she ignored me for a few days, and she says that she was just busy and blah blah. I don't believe her. We're still friends now too. And so to piss her off, I drove to Washington D.C. on a whim and sent her a picture of me just with a friend of mine. Not even just, I didn't tell her, I didn't tell anybody. I just wanted to prove that I am not somebody who you can just have control over. You never know what I'm going to do next. After that was my most recent ex, more or less. Because I had a couple of flings and like very short relationships here or there. Like there was this one girl who I was hooking up with, and I thought she was getting feelings for me. Oh, this is a bad story. Oh, this is really bad. I'm sorry. I thought she was getting feelings for me, even though we clarified that's not what it was. And I called, and like to break it off, I called. And I was telling the truth, but I was like, we were just in the car, so she couldn't even escape. And I was like, "You're really manipulative, you know." She was like, "What?" And I'm just kind of, I mean, it's not a bad thing. I respect it. You're just really manipulative. And she was just sitting there, like, just like in shock, unsure what to say. And then we get to my house. I'm like, all right, but I'll catch you later. By the way, our thing's over. Yeah, I was an asshole. I was really an asshole. Holy shit. But yeah, that's my most recent relationship, which was okay. But we broke up because we just couldn't. That's the issue with all these fucking women. None of them can stand up to me. The one that I got into that I left for DC for did. And it's like, they can't fucking stand up to me. I'm like, and like it feels like I'm never in a relationship. I just have a subordinate. And you guys are probably listening to this being like, yeah, imagine how it feels for us. Yeah, fair enough, right? But it's like, it feels like it's impossible for me to be on an equal playing field, because they don't stand up to me. They just defer to me. Which that might just be me, right? It's just the fact that I can be so domineering. So I guess not so much anymore, but aggressive, angry, that like I just wear them down sometimes. But it sucks because I guess I want an equal. That makes sense, actually. That if they aren't standing up to me, then they're beneath me, and that means they're not an equal. Like, I would rather have a woman who is like a domestic abuser to me. I don't know. Maybe not. Well, I don't know. Than somebody who like is completely, like, people talk about, oh, narcissists take advantage of codependence and people who are weak-willed and stuff like that. I fully believe like that it's just it's their low self-esteem talking, right? Because a lot of these information on the internet kind of keeps you in that cycle of self-hate. It's like, you were weak and he preyed on you. Fuck no. I think that, like, I would not pursue somebody who I saw as weak. I want somebody who's going to stand up to me. I guess maybe if it's someone that I feel like I need to protect, right? But like, I can need to protect somebody and then, but it always ends because they can't stand up to me. But usually I want somebody who's an actual equal. That actually makes a lot of sense when I'm thinking about it. Anyways, but like, I was thinking, God, I got completely off topic. But like, I was just thinking about it, and it's like, I always want these women still in my life. I can't tell why. Maybe I just can't stand the idea of them hating me. Maybe I just want to reminisce about, maybe I want them as trophies. Maybe I want to reminisce about like the past and stuff like that. Because I've been like getting super nostalgic lately and feeling like almost hopeless. And I don't, just because like all my friends are moving on with their lives. Like, some of them are moving away, some of them are married, some are having kids. I'm afraid I'm gonna be the last one left here. And maybe it's abandonment, but it also feels like I'm getting behind in life. Like, everybody else has like Like, I am a single bachelor who fucking just parties all the time. Not all the time, you know what I mean? But I'm, like, irresponsible. And all these other people are actually, maybe it's envy. They're getting everything that I, like, wanted for so long, but question if I can ever even have. But still, I'm just, like, looking back on, like, the good old days and how much I've been clinging on to it. How much I've been clinging on to when I was, like, not emperor, like, the leader of, like, these friend groups that I had, just, like, constant self-esteem juice, right? Of all the friends I used to have, and, like, just cut off on whims. Because I look back on it even now, and every now and then I'll get, like, nostalgic, thinking, maybe those people did care about me. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I wasn't completely right. Usually that's when I'm drunk and I get really sad. And it's hard for me to kind of grapple with that maybe some of these relationships could have been gratifying if I would have gave it a shot. As my ex said, you can get, like, she said to me that I gave you all the love that I could, but you could never trust it. Then I just, in the back of my head, I was like, well, maybe that kind of proves I was right, that I shouldn't trust it. Because you took it away, didn't you? Maybe that's why I break up with these people, to test them, because I do that. It's them to prove to me that they really care about me. That's not conscious, by the way. Most of the time. Sometimes it is. Yeah, that's toxic, but yeah, sometimes it is. Because when I, like, send a long text trying to get somebody to cut me off, it's like, prove to me you care about me by refuting it and saying that you do. If somebody does that to you, a narcissist or something, good on you if you don't, like, indulge that, because that's not behaviors that's acceptable. I'm trying to think how many friends I even have left now, especially around here. How many bridges I burned. But I always say, nobody else is going to stand by what I do, so I have to. So I regret nothing. But maybe I regret it, but I wouldn't take it back. But I won't take it back. Does that make sense? Like, in the back of my head, I'm just, like, trying to decipher what I feel like I just have to stand up for. Yeah, it feels like I'm standing up for myself. Like, I have to keep my head high. I gotta keep moving forward. I want, because I shouldn't be ashamed of what I've done. I need to own it. I need to own what I've done, and whatever, nobody else is going to stand up for what I've done. So I have to. And I will. I will never go back. If they reach out to me and apologize, I'd probably be receptive to it. Maybe I would test them, right? There's a possibility of that. It's hard for me to say without being in the situation. But I probably wouldn't. I'd probably even apologize for some of the things that I did. Some of my angry outbursts. But I'm never going to crawl back to them. And that's just not me. I can't look pathetic like that. Well, I suppose I do kind of look pathetic already. Spend my days talking into my phone alone. No. I don't know, it's weird. It's weird just looking back on all of it. It feels like I'm really entering a new era where this, ostensibly, is going to come to dominate my life for the most part. Most aspects of my life, especially. I mean, it already does to a certain degree. But I don't know. It's a different way of living. And I almost feel like I'm clinging on to my narcissism at this point, which is interesting. I wonder if that's because I feel scared without it, or just because I just want to stay where I was back there. Sometimes I look back there and I, like, think how much more crazy I was, and I was like, I kind of want to be still. Would I take it back? Maybe I would take it back, but I wouldn't. I'm not going to go on my way to fix it. I can't crawl back. I can't look pathetic. And in fairness, that's probably a mindset that has damaged me the most in my life and gotten in the way of my happiness the most. I guess it's not being able to admit that you're wrong, right? Maybe narcissists do that more than I thought. Maybe I do it more than I thought, at least. Oh well. Well, at least this might be a new chapter that fucking terrifies me because I'm losing control. But hey, glad you guys are here. That's probably the most sentimental thing you're ever going to hear from me. Take your fucking meds, guys.